When I first moved into a nursing home, I thought I was making the right choice. I told myself, this is going to be easier. No more house maintenance, no more worrying about cooking or cleaning. It sounded like a dream. But here's the thing. Reality often looks very different from what we imagine. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people do well in nursing homes. But for many of us, it comes with unexpected challenges, things no one warns you about. And if you're considering moving into one, or maybe helping a loved one make that decision, I want you to know the full picture. I want you to hear the hard truths that I wish someone had told me before I made the move. Let's start with the first one. 1. Loneliness can be worse than living alone. You'd think being in a place surrounded by people would mean less loneliness, right? That's what I thought too. But here's the harsh reality. Being around people isn't the same as feeling connected. In my own home, I had neighbors I'd known for years. I could sit on my porch and wave at familiar faces. I could call up a friend and invite them over for coffee. But in the nursing home, even though there were people all around me, I felt invisible. Everyone had their own routine, their own struggles, and making genuine connections was harder than I expected. Sure, there are group activities, but they often feel forced. It's not the same as real friendship, and let's be honest, sometimes you just don't click with the people around you. And if your family doesn't visit often, the loneliness can feel even heavier. If I had known this, I would have thought harder about other ways to stay in my home longer, maybe with help from a caregiver or family support. Because nothing prepares you for the feeling of being surrounded by people yet feeling completely alone. 2. Loss of independence is real, even when they say it's not. Before moving in, I was told, you'll still have your freedom. You can come and go as you please. That was a half-truth. Yes, technically I could leave, but it wasn't simple. Every little thing required approval or coordination. Want to go out for lunch? Someone has to sign you out. Need to schedule a doctor's visit? It has to fit into the facility system. Even small things like when you eat or what you wear start to feel like they're no longer fully your choice. At home, if I wanted to eat breakfast at 10 a.m. instead of 7 a.m., I could. If I wanted to stay up late watching a movie, I could. But in a nursing home, there's a schedule. Meals are served at set times. Medication is given on a strict routine. You slowly start to realize that your life is being managed for you. And that's not even the worst part. The worst part is how it makes you feel. You go from being an independent adult to feeling like a child again, asking permission, waiting for things to be arranged for you. It chips away at your confidence. And if you're not careful, you start believing you're incapable of doing things for yourself, even when you actually could. 3. The quality of care isn't always what you expect. I had this idea in my head that a nursing home would mean constant, attentive care. That if I needed help, someone would always be there. But the truth? Most facilities are understaffed. The nurses and aides are overworked, and even though many of them genuinely care, they just don't have enough time. I learned quickly that if you need help, you have to wait. Sometimes you wait a long time. And the little things? They start to add up. If you drop something, you might have to sit there and stare at it for 20 minutes before someone can come pick it up for you. If you're cold at night, you might have to wait to get an extra blanket. And if you're not someone who speaks up loudly, you might find yourself getting overlooked more often than you'd like. It's not about blaming the staff, it's about the system itself. Nursing homes are businesses, and sometimes, cutting corners means residents don't get the care they deserve. For, it's more expensive than you think. People assume that moving into a nursing home will be financially easier than staying in their own home. But let me tell you, it adds up fast. You're not just paying for a place to live. You're paying for services, for assistance, for medical care. And if you need extra help beyond the basics, that costs even more. Many people don't realize that Medicare doesn't cover long-term stays in nursing homes. You either have to pay out of pocket, rely on Medicaid, which comes with its own limitations, or burn through your savings fast. I know people who had to sell their homes, drain their retirement funds, and still struggled to afford the care they needed. And once you're in the system, it's hard to leave. 5. Your health can decline faster than if you stayed home. This one shocked me. I thought I'd be healthier in a nursing home because there'd be medical staff around. But what I didn't consider was how easy it is to become sedentary. At home, I moved around naturally, doing small chores, walking outside, cooking. But in a nursing home, everything is done for you. Meals are brought to you. Assistance is always there. It's so easy to stop moving, and when you stop moving, your body weakens fast. I saw it happen not just to me, but to others. People who were walking fine when they moved in started needing wheelchairs within months. Not because they had a major health issue, but because they weren't using their muscles enough. And once you lose that strength, getting it back is incredibly hard. 6. It's hard to leave once you're in. Here's a little-known fact. Moving into a nursing home is easier than moving out. Once you sell your home and adjust to this lifestyle, getting out isn't simple. Some people end up staying not because they want to, but because they have nowhere else to go. Others get stuck because their health declines, making independent living harder. And let's be honest, moving is stressful at any age, but even more so as you get older. If I had known all this before, I would have thought twice. I would have explored every other option before making this choice. Because once you're in, leaving is a challenge. So, if you're thinking about moving into a nursing home, I hope you really consider these truths. It's not just about convenience, it's about your quality of life. And if you're already in one and feeling these struggles, know that you're not alone. There are ways to make it better. Speak up, stay active, and if possible, explore your options. Because at the end of the day, this is your life, and you deserve to live it on your own terms. Now, I don't want you to think I'm saying all this just to scare you. The truth is, for some people, a nursing home can be the right choice. If you need constant medical care, if you truly can't live alone anymore, or if you've found a facility that genuinely treats its residents like family, then maybe it works. But what I am saying is, don't go into it blindly. Don't assume it's the easy solution. Because once you're inside, the reality might be very different from what you expected. So, if you're wondering, well, what can I do instead? Let's talk about that. Because there are alternatives. And even if you've already moved into a nursing home, there are still ways to improve your situation. Finding alternatives, staying independent longer. Before I moved, I wish I had explored all my options more carefully. I thought I had to choose between living alone or moving into a nursing home, but there's a middle ground. For example, have you considered in-home care? Instead of giving up your home and moving into a facility, you can have someone come to you. It doesn't have to mean 24/7 care. It could just be a helper a few hours a day to assist with cooking, cleaning, or errands. And surprisingly, this can sometimes be cheaper than a nursing home. There are also senior co-housing communities, where older adults live together but still have their own space. It's like having built-in neighbors who look out for each other, but without the strict schedules or loss of freedom that come with a nursing home. Even downsizing to a smaller, more manageable home, one that doesn't have stairs, one that's easier to clean, can be a better alternative than giving up your independence entirely. The key is to plan ahead. Don't wait until it feels like you have no choice but to move into a facility. Because the sooner you start exploring other options, the more control you'll have over your own life. If you're already in a nursing home, here's how to make it better. Now, what if you're already in a nursing home? Maybe you moved in thinking it would be great, but now you're feeling trapped. What can you do? First, speak up. I know. It's not always easy. But if something isn't working for you, let the staff know. If you're feeling lonely, ask about ways to connect with others who share your interests. If you feel like you're losing your independence, find small ways to take back control. Maybe by setting up your room in a way that feels more you, or by creating a daily routine that gives you a sense of ownership over your time. Second, stay active. This one is huge. One of the biggest dangers of nursing homes is that people stop moving. They sit too much, they rely on assistance for things they could do themselves, and before they know it, their bodies weaken. Even if you're in a facility, make it a priority to stay physically engaged. Walk around the hallways. Join an exercise class if they offer one. If they don't, do simple stretches in your room. Keeping your body strong is one of the best ways to keep your independence, no matter where you live. And third, don't stop making connections. Yes, I said earlier that loneliness can be a problem in nursing homes, but that doesn't mean you have to accept it. Find the right people. Not everyone you meet will be your cup of tea, but there are people who share your interests. Sometimes, you have to be the one to start the conversation. And if the people in your facility aren't your crowd, stay connected outside. Call old friends. Video chat with family. Start a new hobby that keeps your mind engaged. Because no matter where you live, your world is only as small as you allow it to be. At the end of the day, moving into a nursing home is a deeply personal decision. But it's not just about where you live, it's about how you live. And if there's one thing I want you to take away from this, it's that you always have more control over your life than you think. Whether you're deciding where to live or figuring out how to make the best of your situation, remember, this is still your life. And you deserve to live it in a way that makes you happy. Now, if you've made it this far, you're probably thinking one of two things. I haven't moved into a nursing home yet, thank goodness. What should I do instead? I'm already in one, and I don't know if I can change my situation. Whichever camp you're in, don't worry, there's always a way forward. Because this isn't just about where you live. It's about how you take charge of your life, no matter what stage you're in. If you're still deciding, if you haven't moved into a nursing home yet, the best thing you can do is take control of your future right now. The biggest mistake people make is waiting too long, putting off decisions until they have no choice left. That's how people end up in situations they regret. So ask yourself, what do I really need? Not just what's convenient, but what will make me happy? Can I make small changes that allow me to stay in my home longer? Maybe hiring some help, modifying my house, or moving somewhere smaller. Have I explored every option before assuming a nursing home is my only choice? Because here's the truth, staying independent isn't just about your physical ability. It's about planning. It's about making sure you don't let other people make the decision for you. If you plan ahead, you give yourself options. And when you have options, you have freedom. If you're already in a nursing home, maybe you're already living in one and you're thinking, well, it's too late for me. But is it really? Here's what I've learned. It's never too late to take back control in small ways. You might not be able to change where you live overnight, but you can change how you experience it. If you feel isolated, reach out. Find even one person you can connect with, whether it's a fellow resident, a staff member, or someone outside the facility. If you feel like your independence is slipping away, take it back in whatever ways you can. Set your own daily schedule. Move as much as possible. Advocate for yourself. If you feel like you're stuck, start looking at your options. Maybe a move is possible with the right planning. Maybe there's a different type of facility that suits you better. Or maybe you can create a better life right where you are by focusing on what you can control. The most important thing? Don't just accept a life that makes you unhappy. No matter how old you are, no matter where you live, you always have the right to create a life that feels good to you. The hardest truth, but the most important one. At the end of the day, no one is coming to save you. That might sound harsh, but it's actually empowering. Because once you accept that, you realize you don't have to wait for someone else to make your life better. You can do it yourself, one decision at a time. So whether you're deciding where to live, figuring out how to improve your current situation, or just looking for ways to make the most of the years ahead, remember this. You are still in control of your own happiness. Your life isn't over. Your choices still matter. And no matter what, you get to decide how you want to live. So choose wisely. And choose in a way that makes you feel alive. Because you deserve that. Boys.